You know what's funny? I think I've worn this shirt for Liam's Leapings more than any other shirt by far. Anyways, hello and welcome to Liam's Leapings, everyone. It's my weekly updates. I'm just gonna go over some things I've done this week. Okay, so I actually forgot to open up my computer. But I guess I can start off with the books I read this week. I actually don't have the first one I finished. I mentioned it last week. I finished this one on Saturday. So it's been finished for a while, but that was Ashes of Man by Ruocchio, and that's the 5th Sun Eater book. It comes out in December. I get an arc. Really stinking good. I will definitely have more thoughts on this. I did put a review up on Goodreads, but to put it in a way, if you've read Kingdoms of Death, you know it's kind of an avatar, of a book. And so if that book is like Gethsemane, then Ashes of Man is Calvary, so to speak. So I'm looking forward to the resurrection, so to speak, again. So I think this is my 6th episode of Liam's Leapings. I'm not actually 100% sure. Anyways, but this will be the August 20th episode. So I finished Ashes of Man, and then I finished Crown of Fire by Ed Greenwood. I have it right here, actually. Let me grab it since I have this one. It's actually, I got 2 copies right here. We have the original release, which is part of the Harpers as book number 9, though tagged as a sequel to Chandrill's first book, Spellfire, which I have actually already reviewed. And then here's the reprint when the 3rd book came out. I'm not a huge fan of the reprint, like the covers at least. I think the original one looks cool. The afterword is different, actually, based off these. I read both of them. The afterword in this one actually adds a little bit to explain like why these people aren't helping at a certain time, which he kind of did with the republished version of Spellfire, but he actually inserted that into the book, not as like an afterthought. But it's pretty interesting. Like the afterword in this one says that the Realms is the most written in fantasy world. That was written in the mid-90s, though. And in this one, he, let's see. We've glory here to show you in tales of lost treasures, princes in armor, jaws in the lurking dark, and mysteries of missing kings, dragons dancing in the sky, and wizards blasting the towers of castles into thunderous falling ruin, tales of love and betrayal, gallant heroics and sly intrigues. As Alwando the seer once said, turn the pages, do we write upon them for thee. And I just love Ed Greenwood. I don't know. And it was kind of sad, actually, that this book, or touching, this book is dedicated to Jenny Greenwood, Ed Greenwood's wife, and she actually passed away a couple months ago, shortly after I talked to Ed on the channel. So, may she rest in peace, of course. And then I finished Tales from the Vulgar Unicorn. So these are the 3 books I finished this week. I had started this one last week. This is better than Thieves' World in my mind. This book is freaking awesome, because you have Offit, Aspirin, and Abbey who return, and then you have a bunch of new authors. And I was super impressed by Janet Morris, but I also really liked, I don't even know how to say his name, Vogt, V-O-G-T, Van Vogt, or Vaughn, yeah, it's Van, I think. And we had a couple, David Drake, I've never read anything by him, Philip Jose Farmer, really stinking awesome. I'm really looking forward to the 3rd book, actually, now. So, if you haven't read Thieves' World, it's like the shared world anthology. It was the buddy read, I believe, actually, for September of last year. So I do have a review for that one. It's actually the only review I have. In the thumbnail, there's a picture of me, and that's because I couldn't find a good enough, excuse me, I couldn't find a good enough image to take up the whole background. It's just going to be blurry as heck or just like not work. So I put a picture of me in there too. But you don't see me in the review because I don't show my face in reviews, right? But so that, I did finish that. And then I don't have my copy out. I do have a copy, but it's one of my antique books. So if you see my antique book collection video, you've seen this. But it's The Story of the Glittering Plain, or The Acre of the Undying, and The Land of the Living, or something. It's got a super long title, but The Story of the Glittering Plain is what it's commonly called. It's by William Morris. This is his 3rd prose romance. It's the first one that's actually set in a secondary world. Some people consider it to be the first fantasy novel. I've been reading it for a long time, actually. It's only about 100 pages. It's tiny. I read the first 2. I really enjoyed The House of the Wolfings. I read that one early in 2021, and then The Roots of the Mountains I read late in 2021. I didn't even do a review for it because I didn't enjoy it all that much. It's kind of long, dragged out. I thought longer than it would be. I probably will have a review for the story of the Glittering Plane, though. I'm about halfway through, and I'm really digging it. So I did slow down. I'm not reading that one like currently, haven't been for the past few days because I got access to another arc. So I added Ashes of Man, and I'm reading 2 more arcs right now. So the first one I got was Empire of Exiles by Erin and Evans, who I honestly see this book is probably going to be pretty popular. It's Orbit. It's got the cover art that people like these days. And it's Erin Evans. She's a good writer. I've read 7 novels by her, the 7 she has published. They're all Forgotten Realms novels. She's the first Forgotten Realms author I've ever read. Great sneaking introduction, honestly. She's a great author. I'm happy to see that she's having another book finally come out. And hopefully one day she'll have another book come out for the Forgotten Realms. But, you know, even now, I'm happy for her. And I'm glad I got to the arc. I am about a third of the way through as of right now. Really digging it. That'll definitely have a review for that one. I think the book comes out in October. Might be November. I'm not sure when my review will go up for that, but I have to finish it first. So the other arc I got, actually, which I started this barely, I just started it yesterday, but I'm not that far in because I am reading so many books right now. But that is Badon Hill by Anonymous, the sequel to Gurzel, which was the first. Okay, I don't really do star ratings on my channel, but I do them on Goodreads, just for the sake of giving a rating. I just don't put a lot of thought into it. But this got me. The first book got me out of a slump this year. It was the first book I gave 5 stars on Goodreads this year. I actually read it twice already. I read it again about a month ago. I listened to it, I guess. I'm enjoying this one a lot. It is bigger than the first one. I am looking forward to getting more into this one. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but in some ways I really just feel like this series is written for me. So I really am enjoying Badon Hill so far. Yeah. And then as far as other books I am in the middle of The Forge of Virtue by Lynn Abbey. This is the one of 2 of her Ultima books that she wrote. There was a trilogy of Ultima books that came out in the early aughts as well, I believe, written by a different author I've never heard of. Lynn Abbey is known for Thieves' World, so I shared Tales from the Vulgar Unicorn already earlier. This art is actually by Janny Wirtz. I have a book by her up there. You can't see it, actually. But I haven't read anything by her yet, but she's a famous fantasy author, somewhat famous at least. So she did fantasy art before she was a writer. Kind of like Brian Lee Durfee, actually. If you know Brian Lee Durfee, he did fantasy art along with some natural, like, not landscape, like animals, like wildlife art. I have some dragon magazines and some other magazines with his cover art on it, which is pretty cool. But this book, I'm not very far into it. I'm reading this one with my brother because we've been playing Ultima Online. We have done 2 videos for Warcraft books, so Warcraft, Lord of the Clans, and then World of Warcraft, Rise of the Horde. This is going to be the next one, The Forge of Virtue. I'm really enjoying it. It doesn't have very many reviews on Goodreads. It doesn't have very good reviews on Goodreads. Video game to novel adaptations are generally hit or miss. I actually feel like I have a tendency to enjoy them rather than dislike them, and I'm a big fan of Abbey. I think going into it knowing that it's coming of age, all the characters are all younger, and which is something I don't read a lot of these days, but still I can enjoy. And then it's also Lynn Abbey, who's just really good with her character work. There's been very little action. I am about 60 pages in, so I'm not super far in, but her character work, I guess to be more specific about that, is her characters always come off as realistic, and the relationships the characters have come off as pretty realistic and in a good way. They're not like very bad. You understand, you get a taste of this if you read Thieves' World, which I will bemoan that Thieves' World doesn't have audiobooks, which is really sad, honestly. Hopefully one day Thieves' World will be audiobooks. Lynn Abbey is still alive, actually. And then I did start listening to, I am on the last story in this because it's a short story, a novelette, a novella, so I finished all 3 of those, and then the novel. That is The Knight and Knave of Swords. I'm actually doing the audiobook for this one, which I didn't want to do, but I just felt like I should finish out the Fafhrd and Grey Master saga. I hear a lot of not as so much good things with this one. I was like, maybe I'll enjoy it more if I listen to it rather than read it. The sexual content has definitely gone up, and it's not that good, and that stuff, but a lot of the other stuff is pretty typical Leiber, really good. He wrote a lot of stuff at the end of his life, and I can't help but think the last story in here is actually a novel. It's called The Master Goes Below, and he wrote it, or at least it was released after Harry Otto Fisher died, and that is the guy who inspired the Grey Master, and actually who created the Grey Master and Fafhrd for that matter. But the Grey Master is supposed to be Harry Otto Fisher, and Fafhrd is supposed to be Fritz Leiber. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. His death had something to do with that novel. So we'll see. I'm not that far into the novel portion of it yet. So, but I am enjoying it. I don't feel like there's a way I can not enjoy Leiber, honestly. Maybe I'm like the weirdo here in book 2. I guess I say that. Raph likes Leiber too. But maybe you're a weirdo too, Raph. Anyways, no, you're good. So as far as books go that I got, I got Shadows of Sanctuary, which is the 3rd Thieves World book. I can go over the authors real quick who actually contributed this one. It's Fonda in McIntyre, who's a new one this time. CJ Cherry, who I have read, but this is the first contribution. Robert Aspirin again, Andrew Offutt again, Diana L. Paxson. I think this is her first contribution. She might have been in the first one. Lynn Abbey again, Janet Morris again, and then there's an essay by Lynn Abbey at the end. So I am looking forward to this one. I'm not sure when I'll get to it, but I was really impressed with that second one. I just feel kind of overwhelmed with my reading right now. I haven't even started the buddy read for August. I don't even know if I'll get to it, honestly. Like that was partly my fault, because I set it as the buddy read in like the middle of June, and the reason I kind of set the buddy reads like a couple weeks before the month starts, so because my mood dictates a lot of what I want to read, and I kind of set that one a little early, I think, because I'm not in the big mood for the Golden Key right now, but I need to, I could probably do some things that make myself more into the mood, but I haven't been thinking about it because I've got so many books. I'm in the middle of like 4 or 5 books, right, that I'm trying to finish. I'm in the middle of 5, geez. Okay, so that's the first book I got this week. I also got Swords and Dark Magic. What does it say? The new Sword and Sorcery. This came out about 10 years ago, I think. Has a stinking banger of a lineup. Like, honestly, let me read. This is an anthology of Sword and Sorcery. Sword and Sorcery is generally short stories, if you weren't aware. So, the first story is by Stephen Erickson, and then Glenn Cook, Gene Wolfe, James Inga, I don't actually know how to say his name, CJ Cherry, KJ Parker, Garth Nix, Michael Moorcock, Tim Levin, Robert Silverberg, Greg Keyes, Michael Shea, which is actually I don't know if it's a Kugel story, but Kugel the Clever is in this story, so it's an authorized diner story, which is awesome. Scott Lynch, Tanith Lee, Caitlin R. Kiernan, Bill Willingham, and Joe Applecrumble, or Abercrombie, but that's one heck of a lineup. I don't know if I'll read this one all the way through, but Erickson, Cook, Wolfe, I gotta read that Wolfe one probably before any of the others. Moorcock and Wolfe, those are the ones I'll probably read first, to be honest. And then Shea, probably, and then I'll probably go to Cook and Erickson. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. There's a tag on the back, but still I haven't gotten completely off. But that book sounds awesome. It is edited by people I don't even know. And then I got the Obanaax and Other Tales of Heroes and Horrors. This is a self-published book, indie published, whatever, same difference, I don't know. I think the press that did it is just him. But it's Kirk A. Johnson. Sword and Soul, or Sword and Sorcery, if you want to be more broad about it. I'm pretty looking forward to this one. I want to read Imaro probably first, or Imaro, however the heck you say that, which I got a couple weeks ago, if you remember. This is a collection of 4 stories, I think. Farfield Press, Brooklyn, New York. Yep. So, I don't really know. It sounds stinking cool. I was listening to, it's not 4, what am I thinking? No, it is 4. No, yeah, it is 4. Okay, yeah, sorry. I was listening to, So I'm Writing a Novel podcast, and they had Kirk Johnson on it. It was really awesome to listen to, and I'm looking forward to this one. I think I got it on a website called like Book Baby or something, which is pretty interesting. So it's not like on Amazon, but the Obanaax, if you want to read some Sword and Soul, especially some modern Sword and Soul, I guess. I think the original would probably be Imaro, however the heck you say it. But I haven't read it yet, like I said. So, okay, finally get through this real quick. The last book I got was The Pale Brown Thing by Fritz Leiber. I ordered this one a while ago, but it came from the UK, so it took a minute. This is rather short. It is, I did a review for Our Lady of Darkness. That was the buddy read in June, I think. And this is the other version of Our Lady in Darkness. This is the serialized version that came out the same year Our Lady of Darkness came out. He then rewrote Our Lady, the Pale Brown Thane, into Our Lady of Darkness, which is a little longer. This is not as long. This also has an essay in it. It has an introduction by Donald Sidney Fryer, who is kind of a character in the book. His name is Dreyer in the book, but it's based off of Fryer, who is Leiber's friend. This came out in 2015, I think. There's also a little essay, I think. Let's see. Storytelling, Wonder, Questing Mortal Me. It's by John Howard. Anyways, I really enjoyed the book when I read it, though. I realized the first sentence is actually exactly the same, so I'm interested to see what's different. The solitary steep hill called Corona Heights was black as pitch and very silent, like the heart of the unknown. This takes place in San Francisco, for those unaware. But I'm looking forward to reading this and comparing and contrasting it to Our Lady of Darkness, which is a great novel. You should go read it, by the way. And then I didn't get like any short stories that weren't part of anthologies, as I mentioned already. Read this week. I'd like to. Excuse me. Sorry. There's a few more. I'll definitely do some of that next week. And then I got very little writing in this week, even less than last week. It's been busy. It's been hectic starting another job here, and just been busy. So things will be busy probably for a little while longer. But hopefully I'll get more writing in. I might actually do some after this is done recording. But as far as I remember, if you remember watching last week's video, I got a rejection from one magazine. I got another rejection this week, so that's great. I actually expected this one to be rejected. I was a little bit more disappointed the other one got rejected. This one was they open up to short stories, but they will technically take your novelette as well. And going in, I knew that they probably would reject a novelette because they could probably only take one at a time. And I think they already had one planned, so unless it like knocked their socks off, they weren't gonna take it, and they didn't take it. So, but that being said, the day after that got rejected, I did get another email from another magazine who told me that that magazine they send you send the first 3 pages of the story, and if they like the first 3 pages, they ask for the rest. So I sent the rest. And then the editor, he's a slush editor, so there's people that read through everything, and if they like it, they give it to the actual editor. He let me know that he gave it to the actual editor, so that's nice that he liked the story well enough to give it to the actual editor. Now, whether or not that editor is going to take it, we'll see, but it's still kind of exciting. If need be, I can shop it around somewhere else, of course. Obviously, it's still the first. I read through that thing once after finishing it. Anyways, so at least someone likes it, and in some ways it doesn't probably have the attention that some people give their stories. Yeah, but I'd really like to finish the novella I'm working on. I'm probably a little over halfway done with that, if I were to guess, but I'm not quite sure on that. So yeah, anyways, I had a review for Lord of the Clans, I think, came out this week, way later than the discussion I had with my brother, and Queen of Mid Ashes came out as well, and then I just had, I don't remember, I announced the buddy read, I think, and had the poem by Clark Ashton Smith. Next week is another Clark Ashton Smith poem, and my reviews are Dune Messiah, I think, finally, and I think it's The Door into Winter. But I am way behind on my reviews. I have about 20 to record. So, but I'm approaching 100 reviews. After The Door into Winter, I have number 98, which is The Revenge of the Rose, which is book, what is that, 6 of the Elric Saga. And then I should have Rise of the Horde, which is 99, and 100, unless I switch the order around, should be Neuromancer, but I haven't recorded either of those yet, so I might switch them around. Like, for example, if I finish Badon Hill, I might put Badon Hill before that, and Empire of Exiles, since those are arcs, and I want to get those reviews out before the book comes out. Ashes of Man, I have time on, because that book doesn't come out till December, but anyways, so that's my week. How's your week been? What have you read? What have you done? Do you like looking at my dirty shelves back here? Look, there's Wheel of Time, kind of broken up. I don't really like the series all that much, but it's there. So, yeah, hopefully you probably enjoy it more than I do. See all my Fritz Leiber books? It's lovely, isn't it? More Cox over here. One Halo book that's randomly there. So yes, all Leiber right here. Jack Vance is down here. You can't see it. So sad. So sad. Anyways, now I'm just getting distracted. I'm really tired, if you can tell, and this went on a little longer than I wanted it to. But anyways, I will I'll catch you next time.